Huge week this week, 5 companies, one of which is an acquisition and 4 other funding rounds. It could have been 15 or 20 more that I did some insights into today. It was so busy, so much activity, but I had to choose just a few of them. Let's have a look. Rubrik has acquired Laminar. This is what I would call an acquisition in the Goldilocks zone. You get a few types of acquisitions, right? You get those sort of wanting to buy the tech talent, usually like way smaller companies, and they're buying a team of really capable developers. You get those companies that are acquiring based off the product's capability. And then you get those types of acquisitions, which are the bigger end of town, where you're buying both the product and the book of business. I call it the Goldilocks zone because I love acquisitions that are based purely around the technology and the product. And that's kind of where this Laminar is. It's sitting in that kind of 50 million to maybe 500 million, usually a little bit less than that though, range of acquisition, where they're not really buying a book of business. They're buying really what this product can deliver and its potential. The reported sale price is around the $200 to $250 million mark. This shows Rubrik's, spending big for really good tech. Now let's have a look at it. Laminar will help Rubrik identify data that has potential security leakage issues around it, probably because it's got sensitive data or other forms of data that really shouldn't be shared or has the potential to be shared. So what this gives to a data management and data resilience provider like Rubrik is it helps the customers explore, sensitive data within their data stores or files or whatever it may be, like a password that's been left in plain text, maybe credit card information in files or documents that it shouldn't be. So if you look at these data resilience vendors, they're really making a lot of moves into the surrounding technology areas around data resilience. Now, in my opinion, it's easier for them to move north and south, up and down the stack, or east or west, whatever you want to call it, rather than for those sort of satellite capabilities to move into data and into the data management capability. It's way harder to do that. So this is a really big acquisition for Rubrik. I reckon they're going to do some more in this space. I'd be keen to see if they do something around AI soon as well. Further to this, it looks like the announcement around this acquisition, Rubrik have called out that they're going to be opening an R&D center or using the Laminar company's headquarters in Israel as their new R&D center around this space. So broadening their portfolio and their R&D capabilities in this acquisition. The next company is a company called Resilience, who raised $100 million in a Series D. I'm still figuring out exactly what this company and platform is or does or what it is. So it's obviously around cyber resilience, but there's a heavy lean towards the insurance industry. I'm not sure if they do insurance or they just provide the platform for insurance. They definitely build stuff. So they've definitely got a platform there. I think what this is a company that does both builds the platform, but also provides sort of recommendations to the brokers, these insurance brokers, around cybersecurity. And I think, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think it also does the same type of thing or recommendations around cyber resilience to enterprises as well. So you don't just have to be an insurance company. Now, if you look through the website, there's a bunch of little screenshots and stuff here around what you might get out of the platform. It kind of looks like this might be a Q&A platform. So you have to give it a lot of sort of manual data. I'm not sure what sort of data they're taking out of to inform the sort of risk posture you're in. So possibly if you've ever filled out one of those forms for cybersecurity insurance, possibly it's a platform that sort of brings that all together, because I've filled them out and they're like Word docs. This might be a way to sort of help bring those together and sort of automate that process, because it's really laborious and it's often filled with like terrible questions as well. Anyway, it's a little bit confusing. I've gone through the website. There's not a whole lot more that clarifies this. Anyway, let's move on. The next company today is a company called Simon Data. They've raised $54 million in a Series D. This is a Snowflake ecosystem vendor. It's great to see Snowflake getting to the size where they're starting to bring these ecosystem vendors that are getting massive funding rounds themselves as well. This is a cool technology. I love these types of technologies, bringing the data value proposition and aligning it with things like marketing and sales. Let's have a little look at this. So it's talking about bringing the data teams together and also loved by marketers. I get really excited about this technology because you're looking at a platform that's taking the technical complexity out of something like Snowflake, putting layers on top of that and business flows and workflows, but also making that experience accessible by people like marketers. Think about the value you can get out of it. It's dangerous, but there's a lot of value out there. So you've got to have governance in there, and there's got to be training and enablement involved with it. But the business can move really quickly if they've got this enablement. Technologists, salespeople these days should really know how to use platforms and technology well. That's how they will succeed. And this is kind of going down that pathway. So this is great, right? Built on Snowflake architecture, intuitive, flexible, and powerful low-code UI, so it's accessible, out-of-the-box identity and data modeling. So if you're looking at this from the CIO or CTO's perspective, you're going, okay, it's ticking a few boxes here. You're looking at it from the CMO's perspective, you're going, I think I can use this and it seems accessible enough for me as a technical product. Okay, starting to explore, they've broken this up to Simon Activate, unify customer data from your cloud data warehouse and all other sources, sync audiences to marketing and ad platforms in real time. So you're grabbing all of the data and then you're pumping those into the systems like your HubSpots, your Salesforces, or your Facebooks, your TikToks, whatever sort of platform you're marketing from. That's powerful. It's also dangerous. I don't think you want to be doing that without the right capabilities. Simon Engage, create fully automated customer journeys that convert across every channel in minutes. Automated marketing orchestration. Look at this. Real-time multi-channel marketing, personalization managed by a single platform. Is this like a CRM? What is the difference? Automated marketing orchestration. Advanced multivariate testing at any branch of the customer journey to maximize performance. I mean, this stuff is what like HubSpot and that do. Audience management. Wow, this is really comprehensive, but I kind of feel like this is a CRM without calling it a CRM. I'm not sure. I mean, could you run this without a CRM? Email marketing? Like, what do you need a CRM for if you've got this? There'll be huge amounts of crossover if you've got a Salesforce or a HubSpot and then this. Like, both these companies, all these companies are trying to do the same thing. It doesn't have pricing though, which is really frustrating. I mean, what is the commercial model of this agency partner? So it's really going after those digital agencies, technology partners. This is cool though. I want to explore this more. This is the type of tech I love. Clear value proposition. I would have loved to have known how much this tech cost. Okay, keeping momentum. Let's go. The next one is a company called Persephone. Raised $50 million in a Series C. Persephone is all around climate impact. So what your enterprise's impact is on climate change, the reporting around that, the analytics. So they're talking about this carbon accounting and sustainability management in this platform. Super basic website. I mean, in terms of the colors, you're not really sort of boomed at with all this type of stuff. Really clear messaging, the platform for climate management. Again, I think this is one of those industries that is growing massively because of things like policies that are changing in government, expectations from suppliers and customers and also the public. These types of platforms are only going to grow as companies need to start measuring and reporting on these things more and more. There's a lot of consulting that goes on around this space. I'd imagine this platform takes a lot of that off your hands. And I want to show you something, and I think this is a really great area for AI. So they've just released, along with this funding round, they've announced their Persephone GPT, right? So it's an AI-powered co-pilot. Not sure they're even allowed to use that word from Microsoft, but they are, for carbon accounting and management. Now, think about the nuance around this type of technology or the consulting engagements with these technologies and being able to report accurately on it. There's lots of little bits and pieces that really require a Q&A. This is perfect for a natural language sort of Q&A AI system to work through and help get the results you're after as an organization, or help extract the information you're trying to get out of you and the organization into a platform for the reporting purposes. Anyway, booming industry. I'm sure these guys will keep going massive, but let's keep going. Last up is a company called Weights and Biases, who've raised $50 million in a round. Weights and Biases, or WNB.ai, is you can guess what that company does there in the AI space. So this is another MLOps player, or machine learning operations, really around building a platform for developers to build and manage and monitor their life cycle of their AI, LLMs, and their machine learning model development. So as you land on the website, you just get boom with this like awesome graph and lots of stuff happening here. You're like, this is a neural network. What's going on here? But actually what it's showing is the platform's working through a whole bunch of the different LLMs, because different models will give out different accuracy to results, and it's showing how the platform helps you understand which model is going to provide the most accurate response to the problems you're trying to solve, which can be extremely useful for a developer. There's so many different models coming out these days, and tweaks to those models as well. They're going to get really different results depending on what you're doing, what you're trying to achieve, and what you're trying to measure as well. Now, going through the website a little bit, really detailed understanding of what they do. So they go into all the different parts around what the platform does, and it's talking about end to end. If you jump into any of these sort of pillars, I suppose, it then talks around how it solves those problems. I really like how simple and clean that is to understand, and it gives me, as a potential buyer, insights into the extent of the platform and the product. Yeah, run OpenAI evaluations with WMV launch. So there's quite a lot to this. Looks like a really well built out platform. I mean, they've got a huge funding round, so I'd expect that. So look at this. We use WNB for pretty much all of our model training. The VP of product at OpenAI. Pretty good custom to have. So these guys have pricing as well. Jump into that. Oh, love it. Product-led growth all over this. You can sign up free. You can start using it, or as a company, or to get extra access to features, you can start doing for as low as $50 a month. And then obviously the enterprise version. But this allows users to just get started. Gives you access, you get to test it. That's what I want to see. I love it. Anyway, that's it for today. 5 organizations, 4 of which are funding rounds. As I said, there was so much happening this week. There's a whole tier of other organizations under that sort of $50 million funding round. Plenty of action happening, which is great to see.